गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितं कपित्तजम्बूफलचारुभक्षणम् उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारकं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपादपङ्कजम्। सरस्वती महाभागे विद्ये कमललोचने विद्यारूपे विशालाक्षि विद्यां देहि नमोऽस्तु ते। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीं नमोऽस्तु ते व्यासविशालबुद्धे फुल्लारविन्दायतपत्रनेत्र येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं भीष्मद्रोणतटा जयद्रथजला गान्धारनीलोत्पला शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वहनी कर्णेन वेलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनीं सोत्तीर्णा खलु पाण्डवैरणनदी कैवर्तकः केशवः पाराशर्यवचः सरोजममलं गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाख्यानककेसरं हरिकथासम्बोधनाबोधितं लोके सज्जनषट्पदैरहरः पेपीयमानं मुदा भूयात् भारतपङ्कजं कलिमलप्रध्वंसिनः श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। गीताशास्त्रमिदं पुण्यं यः पठेत् प्रयतः पुमान् विष्णोः पदमवाप्नोति भयशोकविवर्जितः। गीताध्ययनशीलस्य प्राणायामपरस्य च नैव सन्ति हि पापानि पूर्वजन्मकृतानि च मलनिर्मोचनं पुंसां जलस्नानं दिने दिने सकृद्गीताम्भसि स्नानं संसारमलनाशनं गीतासु गीता कर्तव्या किमन्यैः शास्त्रविस्तरैः या स्वयं पद्मनाभस्य मुखपद्माद्विनिसृता भारतामृतसर्वस्वं विष्णोर्वक्त्राद्विनिसृतं गीता गङ्गोदकं पीत्वा पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धं गीतामृतं महत् एकं शास्त्रं देवकीपुत्रगीतमेको देवो देवकीपुत्र एव एको मन्त्रस्तस्य नामानि यानि कर्माप्येकं तस्य देवस्य सेवा शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं यं ब्रह्मा वरुणीन्द्ररुद्रमरुतस्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैर्गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुः सुरासुरगणा देवाय तस्मै नमः। यत्र योगेश्वरः कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिः ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम। यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं च यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देवनारायण नमोऽस्तु ते। कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। महापापादिपापानि गीताध्ययनं करोति चेत् क्वचित् स्पर्शं न कुर्वन्ति नलिनीदलम् अम्बुवत्। गीतायाः पुस्तकं यत्र यत्र पाठः प्रवर्तते तत्र सर्वाणि तीर्थानि प्रयागादीनि तत्र वै। यत्र गीताविचारश्च पठनं पाठनं श्रुतं तत्र अहं निश्चितं पृथ्वीं निवसामि सदैव हि। चिदानन्देन कृष्णेन प्रोक्ता स्वमुखतोऽर्जुन वेदत्रयी परानन्दा तत्त्वार्थज्ञानसंयुता। अष्टादश जपेन्नित्यं नरो निश्चलमानसः ज्ञानसिद्धिं स लभते ततो याति परं पदम्। गीतार्थं ध्यायते नित्यं कृत्वा कर्माणि भूरिशः जीवन्मुक्तः स विज्ञेयो देहान्ते परमं पदम्। मन्दारगन्धसंयुक्तं चारुहासं चतुर्भुजं बर्हि पिच्छावचूडाङ्गं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रुक्मिणीकेलिसंयुक्तं पीताम्बरसुशोभितम् अवाप्ततुलसीगन्धं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। उत्फुल्लपद्मपत्राक्षं नीलजीमूतसन्निभं यादवानां शिरोरत्नं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। अस्तु. So we have to start the 29th shloka. So Bhavana Bhagini, patitum ichchati va? Bhavana Bhagini? You are on mute. Okay. Alivelu Bhagini?
Bhagini. अपाने जुह्वति प्राणं प्राणे पानं तथा परे प्राणापानगतिरुत्वा प्राणायामपरायणाः अपाने जुह्वति प्राणं प्राण अपानं तथा अपरे प्राणापानगति रुत्वा प्राणायामपरायणाः अपाने सप्तमी एकवचनं नपुंसकलिङ्गं जुह्वति जुह्वति जुह् धातुः लट्लकारं प्रथमा एकवचनं प्राण
धातु महोदय हू धातु हू धातु
ओके थैंक यू जुह्वति हू धातु प्राणं प्राणः अकारान्त पुंलिङ्ग द्वितीया एकवचनं प्राणः अकारान्त पुल्लिङ्ग प्रथमा एकवचनम् अपानम् अपानम् अकारान्त नपुंसकलिङ्ग द्वितीया एकवचनं तथा अव्ययम् अपरे अपरे अपरः अकारान्त नपुंसकलिङ्ग सप्तमी एकवचनं प्राणापानगति गति इकारान्त स्त्रीलिङ्ग प्रथमा एकवचनं रुद्ध्वा रुद्ध धातुः स्वान्तम् अव्ययम् प्राणायाम परायणाः अकारान्त पुल्लिङ्ग प्रथमा बहुवचनं पदार्थः प्राणायाम परायणाः प्राणायाम मतत्पराः अपरे इतरे प्राणापानगति प्राणापानवायुगमने रुद्ध्वा निरुध्य कुम्भकः प्राणं प्राणवायुं पूरकः अपने अपाने अपानवायौ जुह्वति समर्पयन्ति तथा एवं प्राणे प्राणवायौ अपानम् अपानवायुं जुह्वति समर्पयन्ति रेचकः अन्वयः प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे प्राणापानगति रुद्ध्वा प्राणम् अपाने जुह्वति तथा प्राणे अपानं जुह्वति आकांक्षा जुह्वति के जुह्वति अपरे जुह्वति कीदृशाः अपरे जुह्वति प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे जुह्वति प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे कं जुह्वति प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे प्राणं जुह्वति प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे प्राणं कुत्र जुह्वति प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे प्राणम् अपाने जुह्वति प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे प्राणम् अपाने जुह्वति तथा अन्यत् किं कुर्वन्ति प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे प्राणम् अपाने जुह्वति तथा अपानं जुह्वति प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे प्राणम् अपाने जुह्वति तथा अपानं कुत्र जुह्वति प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे प्राणम् अपाने जुह्वति तथा अपानं प्राणे जुह्वति प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे किं कृत्वा प्राणम् अपाने जुह्वति तथा अपानं प्राणे जुह्वति प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे रुद्ध्वा प्राणम् अपाने जुह्वति तथा अपानं प्राणे जुह्वति प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे के रुद्ध्वा प्राणम् अपाने जुह्वति तथा अपानं प्राणे जुह्वति प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे प्राणापानगति रुद्ध्वा प्राणम् अपाने जुह्वति तथा अपानं प्राणे जुह्वति तात्पर्यम् केचन प्राणायामपरायणाः योगिनः अपानवायौ प्राणवायुं समर्पयन्ति इतरे प्राणवायौ अपानवायुं समर्पयन्ति एवं कुम्भकरेचकपूरकादिक्रमेण प्राणायामं कुर्वन्तः आत्मसंयमनं कुर्वन्ति व्याकरणं सन्धिः प्राणे पानं प्राणे अपानं पूर्वरूप संधि तथा परे तथा अपरे सवर्णदीर्घसन्धि समासः प्राणापानगति प्राणस्य अपानस्य प्राणापानौ द्वन्द्वा प्राणापानयोः गति ते षष्ठी तत्पुरुषः प्राणायामपरायणाः प्राणायामः परायणम् येषां ते बहुव्रीहि कृदन्तः रुद्ध्वा रुद्धु स्वान्तम् धन्यवादः भगिनी
धन्यवादः भगिनी सो अत्र क्रियापदं जुह्वति
जुह्वति
के जुह्वति
अपरे अपरे प्राणायामपरायणाः
प्राणायामपरायणाः कीदृशः प्राणायामपरायणाः नियत आहाराः प्राणायामपरायणाः नियत आहारः is in the next shloka actually so here here प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे प्राणापानगति रुद्ध्वा प्राणम् अपाने जुह्वति तथा प्राणे अपानं जुह्वति so जुह्वति is the kriyapadam so प्राणापानगति रुद्ध्वा रुद्ध्वा is a ktvantam the karma padam of ruddhva is प्राणापानगति रुद्ध्वा प्राणायामपरायणाः प्राणान् जुह्वति so प्राणान् is the karma padam to juhvati kutra प्राणान् जुह्वति प्राणेषु so प्राणेषु we can take it as vishayadhikaranam can we take it as vishayadhikaranam or deshadhikaranam
देशाधिकरणं kada प्राणेषु
so here praneshu can be taken as like indriyani also apane juhvati ruddhva pranavayo, in the vayu. Yeah, so we can take it as deshadikaranam. Okay, here in the Pratipadartha Praneshu is not given. Pranam, Prane, Apanam. Okay, so here though it is given in Ekavachana, we can take it as Bahuvachana. Prane, it is given, right? Pranam, Prane, Apanam, Tatha Pare. Pranapanagati Rudhva Pranayama Parayanaha. So here we can take that Prane as Pranavayo. In that we can take it as in Bahuvachana also, because we have several Pranavayus. We can take it in Bahuvachana also. Okay. So here apare can be taken as Visheshana to Pranayama Parayanaha. So there are, in the previous shloka or until now, we are studying what are the different kinds of yajnas that are there and how those yajnas can be performed, who can perform those yajnas, and what is the proper way of performing each of those yajnas. Similarly, this pranayama is also considered as a yajna, and here how the pranayama is considered as yajna, and people who perform this kind of yajna, they are known as pranayama parayanaha. So here in this context, certain information is given. So apana means the air that is taken inside or outside, right? Apana. Similarly, pranam is also air taken
inside
or outside, like either taking in or breathing out, breathing in or breathing out. Each of these can be considered under apana and pranam. So this procedure of taking in the air and again breathing out, breathing in and breathing out, called pranayama. And this is considered as a yajna. And out of all the yajnas, this is also considered as a sarvottama yajna. So why is this considered as yajna? Not simply breathing in and breathing out, only that action can be considered as a breathing exercise. But when we call it a pranayama, it has something more to it. Rather than just breathing in and breathing out, it has more to it. To be called as a yajna, something else has to be done. And what is that? So this once you breathe in, you should be able to contain it. So the vayu, once you breathe in, we have to keep it still for certain time. Similarly, once you breathe out also, you have to hold it for certain time. So that that procedure is again identified with several names. If we take in breathe in and hold, it is called purakam. Similarly, breathing out and holding it, and breathing out more than what you take in, that is called rechakam. And then both of these together can be called as kumbhakam, antah kumbhakam and bahih kumbhakam. Both together are called as kumbhakam. So here the first part of the shloka, apane juhvati pranam. So here this itself, breathing in and holding, by breathing in and holding, that itself is called apana, means taking the air inside. So by taking the air inside, you are offering the pranam or the life inside with some, you're offering air or the vayu. So that in that sense, it is considered as a yajna. Similarly, breathing out, prane panam tatha pare. And all these can be considered, or these prana, apana, and then we have vyana, udana, and samana. But here primarily the prana and apana are more important, like we are taking in and taking out, and that itself is considered as a yajna. This is a pranayama yajna, and the more details are explained in the Yoga Shastram. So this is also called as Kumbhaka Pranayamam. Kumbhaka pranayamam is just holding the breath without taking in or breathing out. So that is what is given here as pranapana gati ruddha. Ruddha means to stop, to hold. So pranapana gati means without breathing in or breathing out, just holding the breath without breathing in or out. That is called pranapana gati ruddha. By doing that, by being able to do that, we can say that we are performing pranayama yajna, and such people who are able to perform that are called pranayama parayanaha. And also in breathing in and breathing out also, there are so many levels. Simply breathing in and breathing out. When we breathe in, a person without any practice of pranayama, when he breathes in, he cannot hold it even for a second. But with abhyasa, we will be able to hold it slowly, one step at a time. We will be able to hold it for a longer period. Similarly, we hear these yoga gurus always saying you have to feel the breath near your nabhi. So normally a person without any abhyasa will be able to breathe in only till just under his throat. You can feel it, right? But again, with abhyasa, we should be able to take in until the nabhi, and when we are breathing out also, we should feel the air coming out from the nabhi position. So that kind of abhyasa is also needed. So on all this is possible only with sadhana. And here, this pranayama gati vichedanam, or the holding of breath, because vayu normally has this chalanam. Normally the quality of vayu is to move, but here we are holding it. So that needs a sadhana. And he who attains that sadhana, he who is able to hold the breath for such a long period with the sadhana, can be considered as pranayama parayanaha. And such pranayama parayanaha in bahuvachana will be also able to attain siddhi. And how can they attain all this? Is by following the niyamas and by with the guru's guidance. One should not attempt to do this on their own, because we may not know how exactly it should be done. And simply sitting and starting off is also not advised. There are some niyamas in Yoga Shastras which we studied earlier. There are certain niyamas, right? We studied in the previous shloka, in the Ashtanga Yoga, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyanam, samadhi. All these are one step at a time. We are progressing. So we cannot directly sit and attain samadhi, which is the final step. To attain samadhi, we have to do dhyanam. To be able to do proper dhyanam, we have to have this yama. We have to know what are the yama and niyamas, and we have to practice. We studied what are the yamas. Yamas are the ones that which we should practice, like ahimsa, satyam, asteyam, brahmacharyam, aparigraha. All these are considered as yamas. So those we have to practice. And then we have some niyamas, which we are not supposed to fail in doing, or the ones which are supposed to do. And yamas are the ones also which we need to practice. So here shaucham, santosham, tapaha, swadhyayaha, all these, ishvara pranidhanam, all these we have to practice, the niyamas. So in this we have this, all these, only after practicing all these we have to come to the pranayama. We cannot directly jump to pranayama. By not practicing ahimsa, by not practicing satyavachanam, by not practicing asteyam or aparigraha, simply doing pranayamam does not give us siddhi. So to attain siddhi to pranayamam, first all these steps have to be practiced. With abhyasa, after we attain all these steps, then through pranayamam, one can attain siddhi. That is why a guru's guidance is needed in all these. One cannot simply do. So here in the Anvaya, we have प्राणायामपरायणाः अपरे प्राणापानगतिरुद्ध्वा प्राणम् अपाने जुह्वति तथा prane apanam juhvati. So these are the two kinds of yajnas that are happening. So pranam apane juhvati, apanam prane juhvati. So the breathing in and breathing out. Both these are considered as yajnas. So the air that is being breathed in is like offering to the prana. And similarly, the air that is being breathed out is also considered as an offering. And through that, this yajna is being performed. And how is the yajna performed? By also practicing pranapana gati ruddhva, means by holding the breath without breathing in or breathing out. And all this who are able to do pranayama parayana apare, means others, in other ways also they are doing the yaga or the yajna. In that way we can take. Here the tatparyam kechana pranayama parayanaha yoginaha apanavayau pranavayum samarpayanti. Itare pranavayau apanavayum samarpayanti. Evam kumbhaka, rechaka, purakadi kramena pranayamam kurvantaha atma sanyamanam kurvanti. So by practicing these pranayama paddhatis, they are performing yajnas. But it is not as simple as breathing in and breathing out. There is more to it. Only in a guru's guidance we should be able to do the real pranayama. Simply breathing exercises anybody can do with some guidance. But if we want to attain siddhi through this pranayama, then a guru's guidance is needed. And before that, all the niyamas and the yamas listed in the Yoga Shastra should also be practiced. One cannot simply, practice pranayama and expect to attain siddhi. So we might be thinking, I am doing pranayama every day. Why am I not able to attain siddhi? To attain siddhi, one has to follow all the things listed in the Yoga Shastra before starting the pranayama. Okay. So here in the Vyakarana, we have the Sandhi, Purva Rupa Sandhi and Savarna Dirgha Sandhi. Pranapana Gati, Pranascha, Apanascha, Pranapano, Dvandva Samasam, Pranapanayoho Gati, Shashti Tatpurusha. Pranayamaha Parayanam Yesham Te. So who are the Pranayama Parayanaha? Who do the or practice the pranayama. Those people are considered as pranayama parayanaha. So this is bahuvrihi. Anyapada pradhanyam asti atra. Ruddha is the ruddha dhatoho kvantam. Okay. Any questions in this shloka? Okay. So let us move to the next one. Lakshmi Narayana Mahodaya.
हरि ओम श्रूयते वा?
श्रूयते.
अपरे नेताहारा प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति सर्वेऽप्येते यज्ञविदो यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः.
पदविभागम्
अपरे सप्तमी विभक्ति एकवचन. नियताहाराः
क्षम्यतां महोदय, अपरे प्रथमा विभक्ति बहुवचन.
प्रथमा विभक्ति बहुवचनम्.
नियताहाराः प्रथमा विभक्ति बहुवचन. प्राणान् षष्ठी विभक्ति बहुवचन. प्राणेषु सप्तमी विभक्ति बहुवचन. जुह्वति हू धातु प्रथमपुरुष एकवचन. सर्वे अपि एते अत्र सन्धि सर्वे अपि पूर्वरूपसन्धि सर्वे अपि एते सर्वे अप्येते यणसन्धि सर्वे सर्वे प्रथमविभक्ति बहुवचन सर्वनाम यज्ञविदो यज्ञविदः तत्र यज्ञविदः
is yajnavid dakaranta pumlinga
पुल्लिङ्ग
prathama bahuvachanam
प्रथमा बहुवचन यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः एक शब्दमेव
akaranta pumlingameva
अकारान्त पुल्लिङ्ग
yajñakshapitakalmasha
यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः प्रथम बहुवचन पदार्थ अपरे अन्ये नियताहाराः परिमिताहाराः प्राणान् प्राणवायून् प्राणेषु प्राणेषु जुह्वति क्षिपन्ति सर्वे अपि समे अपि एते इमे यज्ञविदः यज्ञवेत्तारः यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः विनाशितपापाः आकांक्षा जुह्वति क्रियापदमत्र के जुह्वति अपरे जुह्वति अपरे कीदृशाः जुह्वति अपरे नियताहाराः जुह्वति अपरे नियताहाराः कान् जुह्वति अपरे नियताहाराः प्राणान् जुह्वति अपरे नियताहाराः प्राणान् केषु जुह्वति अपरे नियताहाराः प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः ये के यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः एते यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः कति एते यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः सर्वे अपि एते यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः सर्वे अपि एते कीदृशाः यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः सर्वे अपि एते यज्ञविदः यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः तात्पर्यम् अन्ये योगिनः नियताहारं सेवमानः प्राणायामपरायणाः अपानादिगतिं रुद्ध्वा प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति एते सर्वेपि यज्ञं विदन्ति तस्मादेव यज्ञेन नाशितपापाः भवन्ति व्याकरणं सन्धिः सर्वेप्येते सर्वे अपि पूर्वरूपसन्धि सर्वेपि प्लस् एते यणसन्धि समासः नियताहाराः नियतः आहारः येषान्ते बहुव्रीहि यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः यज्ञेन क्षपितं यज्ञक्षपितं तृतीया तत्पुरुष यज्ञक्षपितं कल्मषं येषान्ते बहुव्रीहि कृदान्तः विदः विद्धातु क्विप्
अस्तु महोदय सो अत्र क्रियापदं किं
जुह्वति
जुह्वति सो अपरे नियताहाराः प्राणान् प्राणेषु जुह्वति एते सर्वे अपि यज्ञविदः यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः सन्ति we can add santi as
सन्ति
adhyahritam if needed okay so in the first part of the sentence juhvati is the kriya padam ke juhvati niyataaharaah juhvati niyataaharaah kan juhvati pranan juhvati kasmin juhvati praneshu juhvati anantaram
सर्वे अपि एते यज्ञविदाः यज्ञक्षपितकल्मषाः सन्ति
okay so here niyataaharaah kartrupadam apare visheshana to niyataaharaah and they are offering the prana into the praneshu here the praneshu can be taken as indriyani also by regulating their indriyas or we can here since it is the continuation of the previous shlokas we can still take it as the apanadi pranan in that aspect also we can take. But going further, we can also take it as indriyaha. So by controlling anything that we are, it needs a lot of abhyasa, and it cannot simply be obtained. So in the previous shloka, it has been told that this pranayama cannot simply be done. The niyamas and the yamas have to be practiced. Somebody without practicing any of those, if they simply sit and start practicing pranayama, it will only be a breathing exercise, but it cannot be used as a tool to attain siddhi. Just breathing exercises for health is fine, but to use the same tool as to use the same as a tool to attain siddhi, it needs even more practice or abhyasa and shraddha. And how can that shraddha be obtained? By first purifying our manas. And how do you purify the manas? By controlling the indriyas. And by controlling the indriyas, how are we purifying the manas? By not speaking untruth, by not expecting or having any kind of desire towards things that belong to others. We studied all those niyamas and yamas. So all those can be practiced only by controlling the manas. By controlling the manas means controlling the indriyas. Manas is the one that controls the indriyas and buddhi controls the manas. So by this continuous chain of action, we will bring the indriyas under control. Only then when we practice pranayama, it can be used as a tool to attain siddhi. So in this shloka, another niyamam is being told, niyataharaha. So what is niyataharaha? Controlling what we eat. So we have to eat only the satvika ahara and we have to eat limitedly. Only one half of our stomach should be full. When we eat a meal, eating a complete meal means only eating till our stomach is half full. In the remaining half, 1/4 or the half of the remaining half should be filled with water and the remaining half air. That's all. So only half we should eat. So that is niyataharaha. And that also only the satvika ahara, which is good for our body, whatever body needs. And here we have to remember one thing. Here we are practicing to attain siddhi. So we must be at a position where we are already completed all our responsibilities and we are focusing on our spiritual path. So at that point of time, eating satvika ahara completely, following the satvika ahara is fine. But for a person like a kshatriya who is young and still the responsibility of protecting a country is ahead of him, maybe satvika ahara is not suitable for him, though he can practice other things. So such things we should take as per the context. But here, niyatahara, we can take it as eating limitedly and eating satvika aharam and that which is good for our body. And all these are practiced by the yajna vidaha. Yajna vidaha means these are people who know or practice the yajnas. This is also again a kind of yajna. And what kind of yajna is this? Yajna kshapita kalmashaha. So by performing these yajnas, they are cleansing. Kshapita means cleansing. To destroy. What are they destroying? The papas that they do, the sins that they have accrued in the previous lives or in the previous part of this life. By practicing all these yajnas, by performing all these yajnas, they can cleanse themselves. So there are so many kinds of yajnas, right? We have studied the dravya yajnas, and then we are now looking at pranayama yajna and how it can be performed and all this. So here, by practicing all this, he will be purified and the sadhana will help him to move forward in attaining the tattva jnanam by bringing his indriyas under control. So niyatahara itself means having control. Without having control, one cannot practice niyatahara. And another meaning for niyatahara can be also taken as vishayas. This also we studied in previous shloka. A few shlokas behind. So through our indriyas, what kind of vishayaha we are absorbing? Listening only to the right sounds or the right, like the stotras and such things, not listening to abuses, or when gossips, or when somebody is blaming someone else, simply listening that for our pleasure, that is not considered as Indriya Yajna. So through Indriya Yajna, through all our Indriyas, we have to do only which that is right. So listening to the stotras, only speaking the truth, or doing Parayanam of a stotra, and then looking at only things that are good, or cause mental peace to us. There can be some material which is not good for our mind. If we watch that, like in the TV or in the newspaper or books or whatever it is, even reading material which is not good for our mind, such things also we have to avoid. Because if we are reading material which is not good and gaining pleasure out of it, it means we are not feeding the right things to our mind. So the mind gets distracted. It will only want such things again and again. So slowly regulating things that we acquire through our indriyas. So such that is also regarded as niyataharaha, means feeding the indriyas. So controlling that. Okay, that also we can take. So two meanings we can take through niyataharaha. One is the actual food that we are eating, and the other one is what we are feeding to our manas through the indriyas. So that will cause manas shuddhi. And that is also indriya yajna. We can regard it as indriya yajna, that niyatahara.
Okay.
So people who practice niyataharaha are also performing yajna. They are also considered as performing yajna. This is another kind of yajna. So that is what is being told here in this shloka. Apare niyataharaha pranan praneshu juhvati sarve ete yajnavidaha yajnakshapita kalmasha. So by doing such kind of yajnas, we can destroy the sins that we have accrued in the past lives or in this life previously. Whatever sins we have accrued, we can destroy them by practicing such kind of yajnas. Okay, so here we have the Tatparyam. Anye yoginaha niyataharam sevamanaha pranayama parayanaha apanadigatim ruddhva pranan praneshu juhvati ite sarvepi yajnam vidanti tasmadeva yajnena nashita papaha bhavanti. So they will become those people who have destroyed their sins. So whatever sins we have done in the past, we still have an opportunity to destroy them by practicing all these kinds of yajnas. Not just one. We can do any of these. There are so many listed out here. So out of these, whichever we are comfortable using to start with, we can start with that and slowly extend it to the other things also. So it need not be always going and sitting in a forest and performing meditation or dravya yajna. Yajna means many people think that homam that we perform. It need not be that. It need not be just that. We can perform all these kinds of yajnas. And here in the sandhi, we have purva rupa sandhi and yan sandhi. And samasa niyataharaha. So niyataha aharaha yesham te. So those who control the ahara. So again, anya padartha pradhanyam, so bahuvrihi. Here ahara can be taken in two ways. One is the actual food that we take for our body, and other one is the vishayaha that we grasp through our indriyas, which is food to our mind. So both should be controlled. Not only the food, even what we feed to our mind should also be controlled. Yajnakshapita kalmashaha. Yajnena kshapitam. Yajnakshapitam. So with the yajna, that which is destroyed. And what is that destroyed? Yajnakshapitam kalmasham. Here it is yesham te. Yajnakshapitam kalmasham itself is just visheshana. Yajnakshapitam is visheshana to kalmasham. That which is destroyed with yajna. What is destroyed with yajna? The papam. So those who have destroyed their papas through yajnas are called yajnakshapita kalmashaha. So again, anya pada pradhanyata, so bahuvrihi. And vidaha, with dhatoho kvip pratyayam, kartari. Why is it given as kartari? Because vidaha is indicating people who are knowledgeable, who know.
Yajna
So they are karta. So kartari. So through the pratyayam, the kriya padam, what it indicates, that will be given here in the brackets. So here, since it is indicating the karta, it is given as kartari. Astu.
Okay.
Any questions? Astu. So Anantaram Surya Bhagini.
नमस्ते यज्ञशिष्टामृतभुजः यान्ति ब्रह्म सनातनं नायं लोकोऽस्य यज्ञस्य कुतोऽन्यः कुरु सत्तमा यज्ञशिष्टामृतभुजः यान्ति ब्रह्म सनातनं न अयं लोकः अस्ति यज्ञस्य अस्ति अयज्ञस्य कुतः अन्यः पुरुषोत्तमा యజ్ఞశిష్టామృతభుజः తా ప్రత్యయంలో తీసుకొచ్చున్నా దీన్ని
మన పుంలింగం ప్రథమా విభక్తి ఏకవచనము ప్రత్యయము
అంటే భుంజతే నుంచి వచ్చిందేమో కదా ఇది భుజః తా ప్రత్యయం ప్రథమా విభక్తి యాంతి రట్లకారం
महोदय भुक् भुजौ भुजः इति मन्ये भुक् भुजौ भुजः
భుజౌ భుజః
భుంజతేనే ఉంది లాస్ట్ లో చూడండి భుంజతేనే ఉంది
భుంజతే ధాతు భుక్ భుజౌ భుజः ఇది ఇది అట్లా తీసుకోవాలనిపిస్తుంది నాకు భుజ్జని ఉంది కదా
అమృతం భుంజతే ఇది సో ఇది భుంజ ధాతుకి క్విప్ ప్రత్యయం కింద తీసుకోవచ్చు సో ఇది ప్రత్యయం కాదు ప్రత్యయం అయితే కాదు బేసికల్ గా
అయితే ప్రథమ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం యాంతి బహువచనం లట్లకారం బ్రహ్మన్ను పుల్లింగం ఏకవచనం సనాతనం కూడా నపుంసకలింగం మకారాంత శబ్దం ప్రథమ పురుష ఏకవచనం
ఇది పుంలింగం కిందే తీసుకోవచ్చు సనాతనం ద్వితీయ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం
నా అయం
సనాతనం బ్రహ్మ సో హియర్ ఇట్ ఈస్
విశేషణం టు బ్రహ్మ
yes visheshanam so we can take it as napumsaka sorry pumlinga dvitiya vibhakti ekavachanam
na ayam na avyayam ayam idam shabdam dvitiya vibhakti lokah prathama vibhakti ekavachanam
pumlinga
prathama vibhakti ekavachanam అతి అస్తి 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 అస్ ధాతువు ప్రథమ పురుష లట్లకారం ఏకవచనం అస్తి అమృత అస్తి అయజ్ఞస్య ప్రథమ షష్ఠి
పుంలింగ షష్ఠి విభక్తి ఏకవచనం
కానీ అయజ్ఞ అంటే ఇది అకారాంత శబ్దం కింద తీసుకోవచ్చు కదా అకారాంత శబ్దం కుతః అన్యః
కుతః
అవ్యయం అన్యః
అగైన్ పుంలింగ ప్రథమ విభక్తి ఏకవచనం
పురుషోత్తమ ఇది సంబోధన ప్రథమ విభక్తి.
Ikkada here we can take Sanatanam as Napumsakam only. Why? Because Brahma, it is Visheshana to Brahma. So Brahma is in Napumsaka. So this, though we have the Pumlinga Shabda also, we can take it as Napumsaka because the Visheshana and the Visheshya have to be in the same linga.
ఇప్పుడు ఆత్మన్ శబ్దం పుల్లింగమే కదా?
Atman is Pumlingam, yes.
పుల్లింగం అంటే బ్రహ్మన్ అని రాదా ఇది? బ్రహ్మ.
Here Brahma is given. So Brahman is Nakaranta Napumsaka Linga Shabda. So Sanatanam also we can take it as Napumsaka. Sanatana is there in both Pumlinga and Napumsaka, but here contextually, because it is Visheshana with Brahman Shabdam, we can take it as Napumsakam. Okay. Padartha.
పదార్థః పురుషోత్తమ, పురుశ్రేష్ఠ, యజ్ఞ పురుశ్రేష్ఠ, యజ్ఞశిష్టామృతభుజః, యజ్ఞే సుధాతుల్యం శిష్టం భుంజానాః, సనాతనం శాశ్వతం బ్రహ్మ పరమాత్మానం యాంతి ప్రాప్నువంతి, అయజ్ఞస్య యజ్ఞహీనస్య అయం లోకః ఏషః భూలోకః నాస్తి న విద్యతే అన్యః పరలోకః కుతః కథం భవతి. అన్వయః పురుషోత్తమ యజ్ఞశిష్టామృతభుజః సనాతనం బ్రహ్మ యాంతి, అయజ్ఞస్య అయం లోకః నాస్తి అన్యః కుతః. ఈ లోకమే లేదు, వేరే లోకం ఎక్కడుందని చెప్తున్నారు కదా.
Ante for he who does not perform any kind of yajna, all these yajnas are listed. So many kinds of yajnas are listed. So he who does not perform even one of all the yajnas that are listed, so what will happen to him? Adi in this loka itself he doesn't have any good result. So inka why talk about other lokas or other, like how can he attain Paramapadam? That is how you have to take it.
ఆకాంక్ష యాంతి కిం యాంతి బ్రహ్మ యాంతి, కీదృశం బ్రహ్మ యాంతి, సనాతనం బ్రహ్మ యాంతి, కే సనాతనం బ్రహ్మ యాంతి, యజ్ఞశిష్టామృతభుజః సనాతనం బ్రహ్మ యాంతి. నాస్తి కహ నాస్తి, లోకః నాస్తి, కహ లోకః నాస్తి, అయం లోకః నాస్తి, కస్య అయం లోకః నాస్తి, అయజ్ఞస్య అయం లోకః నాస్తి, అయజ్ఞస్య అయం లోకః నాస్తి అన్యః అస్తి, అయజ్ఞస్య అయం లోకః నాస్తి అన్యః కుతః. అస్మిన్ శ్లోకే సంబోధన పదం కిం? పురుషోత్తమ. తాత్పర్యం అర్జున, యజ్ఞస్య అమృతతుల్యం శిష్టం సేవమానాః యోగినః సనాతనం పరం బ్రహ్మ ప్రాప్నువంతి, తథా యే న యజంతే తేషాం అత్రైవ లోకే సుఖం నాస్తి, కిం పునః పరలోకే? రామానుజీ మతం. అయం లోకః ప్రాకృతః లోకః, అన్యః లోకః అప్రాకృతః లోకః. వ్యాకరణం సంధి నాయం, నా ప్లస్ అయం సవర్ణదీర్ఘ సంధి, లోకోస్త్య యజ్ఞస్య, లోకః ప్లస్ అస్తి విసర్గ సంధి, సకారః రేఫః ఉకారః గుణః పూర్వరూపం చ, అస్తి ప్లస్ అయజ్ఞస్య ఏణ సంధి. కుతోన్యః, కుతః ప్లస్ అన్యః విసర్గ సంధి, సకారః రేఫ ఉకారః గుణః పూర్వరూపం చ. సమాసః యజ్ఞశిష్టామృతభుజః, యజ్ఞస్య శిష్టం యజ్ఞశిష్టం షష్ఠి తత్పురుషః, యజ్ఞశిష్టం ఏవ అమృతం, యజ్ఞశిష్టామృతం కర్మధారయః, యజ్ఞశిష్టామృతం భుంజతే ఇతి కర్తరి క్విప్ ఉపపద సమాసశ్చ. అయజ్ఞస్య నా విద్యతే యజ్ఞః యస్య సః తస్య నై తత్పురుషః.
So atra kriyapadam kim?
యాంతి.
Nasti. Kutaha bhavati, anyaha kutaha bhavati. So we can split this shloka into three parts. One is yajna shishtamrita bhujaha Sanatanam Brahma Yanti. Okay, so Sanatanam Brahma. Sanatanam is Shashvatam. Brahma means Paramatma. So he will attain Paramapadam, that which is Shashvatam. That position is Shashvatam. Attaining Paramatma or Parabrahma is the Shashvatam. Whatever other things that you attain need not be Shashvatam. Those are all temporary. Even the punya that you acquire, papa that you acquire, all these are temporary. Any good fortune that you receive is everything in this life is temporary. Only the Paramapadam is Shashvatam. So that he will attain. Yanti means attain. Who will attain this Sanatanam Brahma? Yajna Shishtamrita Bhujaha. He who eats the remainings of the yajna. Remainings of the yajna. If it is a dravya yajna, say for example, we offer several things like ghee or this and that, some grains. All these we offer into the yajna. And after the yajna is performed, after it is completed, even the puja also we can consider under this. So after rituals like the yajnas or the pujas, or after all these are performed, whatever offering we have done, the remainings of that, after whatever has been offered, that we can eat as prasada. He who eats that prasada will attain Sanatanam Brahma. That is what it is saying. Anantaram ayajnasya ayam lokaha nasti. Ayajnasya. So eating the shishta, yajna shishta, which is considered as amritam, will lead to moksha. So he who does not perform any kind of yajna, how can he eat yajna shishta? He cannot eat yajna shishta because he is not performing any kind of yajna. So then what will become of him? In this sloka itself, he cannot attain anything. Forget about Paramapadam. Okay? So in this lokam, ayam lokaha nasti, ayajnasya. For somebody who does not perform any kind of yajna, there is nothing that he is gathering here in this loka itself. Like he cannot destroy his papaha, he cannot gain any punyaha. So what can happen in the anya loka? Why even thinking about it? He cannot go beyond this. He will be what do you say, captured in this life itself, in this life and death cycle itself. He cannot go beyond this. That is how we can take the meaning here. So here, now yajna shishtaha. In dravya yajna or in the pujas that we perform, we are offering something to the deities, and whatever is remaining, we are taking as the prasada. Now here, it has also been, like, there are so many other yajnas that are listed. Like niyatahara is considered as a yajna, pranayama is considered as a yajna. Like this, there are so many other yajnas that are described. In a dravya yajna, there will be something, food item that you can eat as prasada. But what about in pranayama? What about even swadhyayanam is considered as a yajna? We studied in one of the previous shlokas. So if all those are yajnas, what does yajna shishta mean in that context? So in swadhyayanam, which is considered as a yajna, what is considered as yajna shishta? In pranayama, what is considered as yajna shishta? In niyataharaha, what is considered as yajna shishta? Means how much ever time you put into that yajnas, whatever time is left after you perform those yajnas, the way they have to be performed, whatever time is left, that is considered as yajna shishtaha, and that time we have to again use for the benefit of others, or in niswardha or phala apeksha, without any phala apeksha. We have to use that remaining time again in some kind of satkaryam. So that is what is meant by taking yajna shishta. So in the dravya yajna, you have actual materialistic item to take, like a prasada, like a food item, whatever you are offered. But in yajnas which are not dravya yajnas, manasika yajnas, what is considered as yajna shishta? Because we have to take that yajna shishta to attain paramapadam. So what can be considered as yajna shishta is, after you perform completely that pranayama, like how it has to be performed in the proper way. completely, without any rush, with complete shraddha. After you perform that yajna, whatever time is remaining, that time is considered as yajna shishta, and you have to use that time again to perform satkaryas. That way, it will be like accepting the yajna shishta as our prasada, and we are attaining or going into the path of moksha. In that way, we can understand this. Okay. So here we have yanti is the kriya padam. Yajnashishtamrita bhujaha, he who accepts the Yajnashishta as his prasadam, he will attain Sanatanam Brahma. So Yajnashishtamrita bhujaha will be the Kartrupadam, Sanatanam Brahma. Brahma will be Karmapadam, Sanatanam will be Visheshana to Brahma. And those both words, since they are the Karmapadams, will be in Dvitiya Vibhakti Ekavachana. That is the first part. Ayajnasya ayam lokaha nasti. Nasti kriyapadam. Lokaha nasti. Lokaha will be kartrupadam. Ayam will be visheshana to lokaha. Ayajnasya will be shashti sambandha to lokaha. Will be shashti sambandha to lokaha. Anyaha kutaha bhavati. Bhavati we can take as adhyahritam, which will be the kriyapadam. Anyaha katham bhavati, kutaha is like how does it, how can he attain? So anyaha kutaha bhavati. Kutaha can be taken as kriya visheshana because it is describing how can it happen. So bhavati is happening, and how can it happen? So kutaha can be taken as kriya visheshana. Anyaha can be taken as the kartrupada. Tasya refers to ayajnasya. Anyaha kutaha bhavati. Anyaha is representing lokaha. You can take lokaha also as adhyahritam for more clarity. Here anyaha refers to anyaha lokaha. Anyaha lokaha means that paramapadam that we have to take. So here in the Ramanujiya matam also, ayam lokaha prakritaha lokaha means the world in which we are existing. Prakritaha lokaha. Anyaha lokaha means aprakritaha lokaha, which is the paramapadam. So here anyaha indicates anyaha lokaha. For clarity, we can add that as adhyahrit. So that is the karaka sambandha for this. Here we have the sandhis, savarna dirgha sandhi, and then we have visarga sandhi, and then yen sandhi. Anantaram kutonyaha. Here also we have visarga sandhi. Anantaram yajna shishtamrita bhujaha. So yajnasya shishtam, shashti tatpurusha. What is left of the yajna? Yajna shishtam eva amritam. So avadharana purvapada karmadharaya. Yajna shishtamritam. That itself is the amritam. Whatever is left out of the yajna. Yajna shishtamritam bhunjate iti. This is upapada samasa. Kumbham karoti. Kumbhakaraha. Like that. Here yajna shishtamritam bhunjate iti. Yajna shishtamrita bhujaha. And then ayajnasya. Na vidyate yajnaha yasya saha. This is naitat purusha. Ayajnaha. Only till ayajnaha. And then tasya is added as the vibhakti for the samasa padam. That is not part of the vigraha vakya. So tasya is written separately. Any questions here?
Bhagini na vidyate yajnaha yasya saha nayi bahuvrihi avada.
లేదు, ఎందుకంటే అయజ్ఞః is na vidyate yajnaha. Yasya saha. Actually correct kada, yasya saha.
Yasya saha ఉన్నప్పుడు bahuvrihi వస్తుందేమో కదా.
Correct. Bahuvrihi, not naitat purusha. Ayajnaha. He who does not, because we are taking it as he who does not perform any yajna is called ayajnaha. If we take it in tatpurusha, naitatpurusha, that which is not an yajna, means when a yajna is not performed properly as per the vidhanam given in the Vedas, then it is called ayajnaha. So the mantras are not recited properly. Whatever you are offering in the yagam or in the yajna, it is not shuddham. You are offering any material. that is not right. We have to offer only the materials which are listed in our Vedas, in the Yaga Vidhi. So if we are not offering the right materials, if we are not reciting the mantras properly, then it is not the yajna is not a proper yajna. Then that is naitat purusha ayajna. Here ayajna is taken in the way of he who does not perform any yajna. So this has to be taken as bahuvrihi only. Yes, Bhagini, thank you for correcting. And tasya will be the vibhakti of the samasa word.
Mahoday,
Actually, another thing that comes to my mind is here ayajnaha is like aputraha, he who does not have putra. But ayajnaha, he who does not perform yajna. So I'm trying to see if there is a Anyapada Pradhanyata or Uttarapada Pradhanyata. It appears like Uttarapada Pradhanyata only, right? Yajnaha. No, yeah, we can take it as Bahuvrihi. Yes, Mahodaya, you were saying something?
Mahoday, atra nasti iti adhyahartamyam va? Yatra kutrapi na drishyate, yasti iti padam.
Nasti is not there in the shloka?
Na vidyate.
So then we can take it as
Adhyahartam.
Nayam lokosti.
Na ayam na iti nasti iti grihaniyam va?
Na asti nasti. Na ayam lokaha asti. So ayam lokaha nasti.
Dhanyavadah.
Astu. Anantaram? Any questions in this shloka? Ravishankar Mahodaya, patitum ichchati va?
Mahoday, patami. Shruyate va?
Shruyate.
Evam bahuvidha yajna vitata brahmano mukhe karmajan vidhitan karmajan vidhitan sarvan evam jnatva vimokshyase. पदविभागः एवं इत्थं बहुविधाः नैकप्रकाराः यज्ञाः यागाः ब्रह्मणः वेदस्य मुखे आदौ वितताः विवृताः तान् सर्वान् तान् सकलान् कर्मजान् कर्मद्भावान् विद्धि जानीहि एवं इत्थं ज्ञात्वा बुद्ध्वा विमोक्ष्यसे मोक्षं प्राप्यसि. एवं अव्ययं बहुविध अकारान्त पुल्लिंग शब्दः प्रथमा विभक्ति बहुवचन adjective to यज्ञाः. यज्ञाः यज्ञ अकारान्त पुल्लिंग प्रथमा विभक्ति बहुवचन. वितताः वितत अकारान्त पुल्लिंग प्रथमा विभक्ति बहुवचन. ब्रह्मणः नकारान्त पुल्लिंगः प्रथमा विभक्ति ब्रह्मणः षष्ठी विभक्ति एकवचन.
नकारान्त नपुंसकलिङ्गं खलु?
नकारान्त नपुंसकलिङ्ग वा नकारान्त पुल्लिङ्ग वा महोदय?
ब्रह्मणः
ब्रह्मन् शब्द ब्रह्मणः इति अस्ति.
So there is Pumlinga as well as Napumsaka. So we can take as both. Anything is fine because Shashti Vibhakti Ekavachana in both Shabdas is Brahmanaha.
Brahmanaha. Mukhe Mukha Mukha is neutral gender. Napumsakalinga. Sambandhe. It's related to the word sambandhe. Karmajan. Karmaja akaranta pullinga. Dvitiya vibhakti bahuvachana. Vidhi. Vid dhatu. Lot lakara. Kartari. मध्यम पुरुष एकवचन. मध्यम पुरुष एकवचन. तान् तद् शब्दः कर्मणि टु विद्धि प्रथमा विभक्ति बहुवचन. सर्वान् सर्व सर्वनाम शब्द प्रथमा विभक्ति बहुवचन. इट्स अगेन एडजेक्टिव टू तान्.
द्वितीया विभक्ति बहुवचन.
सर्वान् सर्वः सर्वे सर्वाः सर्वम्. द्वितीया विभक्ति बहुवचन. एवं अव्ययम्. ज्ञात्वा अव्ययम्. स्वान्तपद. विमोक्ष्यसे. वि उपसर्गपूर्वकः. मुच् धातु. लृट् लकारः. कर्मणि द्वितीया. I am unable to recall that. Madhyama Purusha ekavachana. Anvayam patami va akanksha paddhatya.
पठतु. आकांक्षा अन्वयम् आकांक्षं पदार्थ अभवत् वा?
पदार्थ अभवत्.
अन्वयः पठतु.
अन्वयः. एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. तान् सर्वान् कर्मजान् विद्धि. एवं ज्ञात्वा विमोक्ष्यसे. आकांक्षा. वितताः. कुत्र वितताः? मुखे वितताः. कस्य मुखे वितताः? ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. के ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः? यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. कतिविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः? बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. कथं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः? एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. तेन किं करणीयम्? एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. तेन विद्धि. एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. कान् विद्धि? एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. तान् विद्धि. एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. तान् कति विद्धि? एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. तान् सर्वान् विद्धि. एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. कीदृशान् तान् सर्वान् विद्धि? एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. कर्मजान् तान् सर्वान् विद्धि. एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. कर्मजान् तान् सर्वान् विद्धि. तेन मम किम्? एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. कर्मजान् तान् सर्वान् विद्धि. विमोक्ष्यसे. एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. कर्मजान् तान् सर्वान् विद्धि. किं कृत्वा विमोक्ष्यसे? एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. कर्मजान् तान् सर्वान् विद्धि. ज्ञात्वा विमोक्ष्यसे. एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. कर्मजान् तान् सर्वान् विद्धि. कथं ज्ञात्वा विमोक्ष्यसे? एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः मुखे वितताः. कर्मजान् तान् सर्वान् विद्धि. एवं ज्ञात्वा विमोक्ष्यसे. तात्पर्यम्. एवं अनेक प्रकारकाः यज्ञाः वेदस्य आदिमे भागे कर्मकाण्डे विवृताः सन्ति. तान् सर्वान् कर्मणः एव उत्पन्नान् अवगच्छ. अनेन प्रकारेण यथार्थं जानासि तर्हि निष्कामकर्मयोगद्वारा संसारबन्धनात् मुक्तः भवसि. व्याकरणं कृदन्तः वितताः वि उपसर्गः तत् क्ता प्रत्यय कर्मणि एकमेव अस्ति।
अस्तु, सो अत्र क्रियापदं किम्?
क्रियापदं वितताः एकम् एकमेव
विमोक्ष्यसे,
विमोक्ष्यसि,
विद्धि अपि अस्ति।
आम् विद्धि अपि अस्ति।
सो प्रथमवाक्यम् एवं बहुविधाः यज्ञाः ब्रह्मणः
मुखे वितताः।
Vitataha, you can add santi if needed. Without that santi also it is fine.
Yes.
Vitataha means described. So yajnaha vitataha santi. Also you can say, if we add santi as adhyahritam, then yajnaha will be the kartrupadam and vitataha will be like a videya visheshana. Otherwise, the same simply vitataha are described. That itself will be the kriyapadam. Yajnaha will be the kartrupadam. Bahuvidaha is visheshana to yajnaha. Kutra brahmanaha mukhe. So brahmanaha will be shashti sambandha to mukhe. Mukhe will be adhikarana. Deshadhikarana itself we can take because it is indicating the place where these bahuvidaha yajnaha are described and in the beginning part of the Vedas, in the Karma Kanda. So it is indicating a physical location, so we can mark it as Deshadhikarana.
Deshadhikarana, okay.
That is the first part of the sentence.
Second part is Tan Sarvan Karmajan Vidhi.
Vidhi means it is in Madhyama Purusha Ekavachana. So we can take Tvam as the Kartrupadam. Adhyakritam Kartrupadam Swikaraniyam. Vidhi is the Kriyapadam. What is the Karmapadam?
Karmapadam Sarvan.
Sarvan.
Sarvan Karmajan. Sarvan iti karma visheshanam bhavati kila.
Sarvan is the karma. So tan sarvan karmajan vidhi. So you know or you understand that all these are karmajan. So karmajan is vidheya visheshana to sarvan.
Sarvan, okay.
Karmajan is vidheya visheshana. Vidheya visheshana, whenever we are telling that this is this, like we are saying this Rama is a good boy, then Ramaha uttamaha asti. So uttamaha will become vidheya visheshana because we are describing more about Rama and Rama and uttamaha here will have the same adhikarana.
Yes.
Whereas if you say uttamaha Ramaha asti, there uttamaha is pure visheshana. It is not vidheya visheshana. It is simply visheshana.
Okay, understood.
Here also tan sarvan, all these yajnaha karmajan. They are born out of the karmas.
Okay.
By performing karmas only, all these yajnas are there. That you have to understand. Tan sarvan karmajan iti tvam vidhi. In that is the second part of the sentence.
Third is evam gnatva vimokshiyase. That is the third sentence.
That is the third sentence. So evam gnatva, knowing this, you can become free.
Yes.
You can attain moksha.
Will be liberated.
So here vimokshiyase is we have it in kartari prayoga also vimokshiyase, karmani prayoge api vimokshiyase. But here we can take it as kartari only instead of karmani.
Yes.
Tvam evam gnatva, you knowing this, you can attain moksha, vimokshiyase. So here, what is being told in this shloka, the meaning? So we have so many yajnas, which are dravya yajnas. And then there is another yajna, which is the most important, which is the jnana yajna.
Yes.
Finally, understanding. So now, many things are told. You have listed, Arjuna is asking Krishna. You have listed so many yajnas. You are saying dravya yajna, indriya yajna, pranayama yajna. You have listed so many. Now I am totally confused. You tell me simply in one word. Now what is it that I need to attain?
Do. Yes.
What is it that I need to perform ultimately?
Yes.
Then Krishna says, Jnana Yajna is the most important of all. Now what is Jnana Yajna? Now if you see the Dravya Yajnas, Pranayama Yajna, the Indriya Yajna, all these yajnas are still performed at the Sharira or the Manas level.
Yes.
For dravya yajnas, you need dravyam, material,
Dravyam.
and you are performing with your body. So sharira, you
Yes.
need sharira. The
Yes.
indriya yajna is performed through mind. That is also
Yes.
part of sharira. It is in this
Sharira only.
prakritika lokaha only.
Yes.
These are not related to Atma. Manas
Yes.
is not a part of Atma, right? It
Yes.
is still a part of body.
Body.
So all these, they have a phalitam. Okay, all these are still considered as karmas. So through all these yajnas are still karmajan. They are born out of the karmas.
Karmas only.
But what you have to understand, a dravya yajna can be performed for materialistic benefit or for moksha also. If
Yes.
I perform a yaga today, I want children, I want
Yes.
you know, very
Putrakamishti, Rajasuya, like that.
So all these are performed for some materialistic purpose.
Benefits, yes.
The same yajna can also be performed for moksha without any kind of
Aspirations. Aspirations.
phalapeksha.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
The yagas performed by kings is for a reason. It is not for their
Yes.
own personal benefit, but
No.
still they all have
Some form of phala or the other. Yes.
Phala is there. But when we perform a yaga only without any kind of phalapeksha, only with moksha as our phalitam.
Goal.
We want moksha as our goal. Then that can be considered as jnana yajna.
Okay.
That can be considered as jnana yajna. Everything, the dravya yajnas, the indriya nigrahas. Why am I doing the indriya nigraha? Only for a simple reason as to lose weight. Niyatahara, if I am following niyatahara, only simply to lose weight, or is there more to it?
Yes.
So I want to keep my body in good condition so that I can perform this yajna and I can use this body as a tool to attain moksha. Is that my goal, or simply to use a few pounds to get into my beautiful dress?
Yes.
So that is the difference. How we are looking at these yajnas also will matter.
Yes.
So karmajan means all these yajnas
Born out of karma.
are born out of the karmas, but we can still use these karmajan. We can still use these yajnas, though they are performed out with our body, though they are performed with our sharira, we can still use these to attain moksha. And that jnanam that we have, that we can perform these to even attain moksha, that is jnana yajna. That we can consider as jnana yajna. Just by knowing that, just by understanding that, we can attain moksha. That is what is given in this shloka.
Yes, nice. Avagatam, Mahoday. I have one doubt, Mahoday. We have 3 sentences here. Right. So at the end, how do I క్రోడీకరించి ఎట్లా రాయగలను? All these into one.
The taatparyam you can try to put it like in a small paragraph, but when you are writing Kanvaya, it has to be separated. It has to be separated, but taatparyam you can kind of write in your own words. So here, what is the shlokam given? Evam bahuvidhaha yajnaha vitata brahmano mukhe. So many different kinds of yajnas are mentioned at the very beginning of are described, vitataha, described in the very beginning of the Vedas. Okay, and karmajan vidhi. But one should understand, see, here, though it is, the speech is directed towards Arjuna, it's directed towards mankind. So this whole thing is directed towards mankind. So in the Tatparyam, you can write it as, one has to understand that all these, though they are born out of the karmas, these yajnas are performed as karmas, one can attain, understanding that these are born out of the karmas, but still they are, if they are performed to attain moksha, just understanding that will give us moksha.
Yes. Samarpana bhavam. Okay.
Yes. And using the same tools for a bigger purpose. So everything is there, right? Some people donate, some people make donations, but the main purpose of them to donate is to tell everybody, oh, I have donated
and
so
also
much.
tax exemption.
Tax exemptions can be then to proudly share with their friends or relatives can be one reason. But these are all the small enjoyments or trupti that they are getting. But that should not be the case. When we are making some kind of donation or when we are performing some kind of seva, the kind of thought that we should have is we are blessed to get such an opportunity to be able to give to somebody.
Yes.
So with that, see, I am only a tool. I am only a tool, nimitta matram. Okay, I am only a nimitta matra in the big picture. God has given me this opportunity to serve others. So with that bhavana, if we do, without any kind of ownership towards that seva or donation, then that can become a yajna in itself. That can become a yajna in itself and it will help us attain moksha. Still, these are all karmajan. These yajnas are still karmajan, but still they can be a tool for us to attain moksha. That is what this shloka is telling us. And also, like, we also have to think that once we look at them as a small benefits, like how I said, we are performing the deed, but we are not doing it with that chitta suddhi. We are doing it for small phalitas, like for a name in the society, for people to praise us. These are all the small things we are looking. So then what is happening? Even though you are doing such a good deed, such a very big good deed, by simply expecting these kinds of results, they are burning out of there itself. All the punyam that you are acquiring is burning there itself. Like imagine a big lake which has so many outlets. So though you are pumping water into the lake, because of those all small holes, water is going out and the lake is never being filled up. But once you clog all the holes, then the lake will become full. And once the lake becomes full, it can become shelter to many aquatic animals, to people also. They can use the water for crops, for raising crops, for drinking. So it will be useful not only for ourselves, but also for people around us. So similarly, when we are doing good deeds, but we are showing this we are looking for some small benefits out of it, then people around us, like our children mainly, and our friends or well-wishers or whoever are around us also will try to take that only. Okay, we have to do this for this benefit. Otherwise, they will not do. But if we go one step ahead and then do this without any expectation in result, then automatically our children also will learn to do the same. They will do things without any expectation back. So not only we are benefiting, we are also benefiting people around us, because we will be an example. Like in our previous adhyaya, or in this adhyaya, in the previous shlokas we have studied, it is the responsibility of a person who has this kind of jnanam to set an example to others. It is not that I have attained my jnanam, I have attained my siddhi, I am going to attain Paramatma. That should not be the goal. Our goal should also be, as long as we are here in this world, with the knowledge, whatever little knowledge we have acquired, we have to practice it in such a way that we set an example to the people around us and they also benefit from it. Because for some people, just reading the Bhagavad Gita shloka and understanding itself is enough to attain that knowledge and try to put it into practice. For them, they are able to do that. But for some people, they cannot understand, they read the shloka, they understand, but they cannot really put it into practice until they see somebody else do it. Because they think it is impossible for humans. Because I have heard many people say this. They listen to the Bhagavad Gita. There are so many pravachanas on the TV. They listen to them with so much of shraddha. But when it comes to implementation, they do not apply it. So I asked several people that you are listening to Bhagavad Gita. Here, this is being said. Do not, the common thing that I see is happening is they hold anger against people who have done something to them, right? Something that we see very commonly. So then I say, in the Bhagavad Gita, you are listening to Bhagavad Gita, there it has been told that we should try and avoid all these negative feelings towards anybody. It is not, it will not happen overnight, but at least we have to put in that prayatnam When something happens, yeah, we should try to forget. We should try to let go. So why are you not practicing that? Why don't you let go? Because this has happened like 10 years ago. Why are you still holding on to something that happened 10 years ago? What they told me was, oh, that is Bhagavad Gita. That is for somebody like rishis. It is not for people like us.
Oh God. Okay.
No, that is because I have been observing. They are under the impression that it is so difficult to put it into practice, and we are not at that level, so it is impossible for us to even try. They are very genuinely, honestly saying that. I appreciate their honesty in that.
Yes.
But it is sad that people think that they cannot really do it. They are not doing it. They are not, doing it because
They are not considering themselves fit to do it.
It is not like their arrogance or something. It is they really believe that they don't have that kind of strength, because all those are meant only for rishis or some great purushas. It is not meant for us. Many people will be under that. Not only in practicing spirituality, in practicing many things. People have this sort of inhibition. Oh, that is very tough. Maybe I cannot do it. So you see people unable to drive, people unable to use technology, people unable to do some things, not because they really cannot do, because they are afraid that they cannot do. So they don't even try. When you have that samshayam in your mind, and when you do something, obviously something will go wrong. So they think that they are not fit to do that. But that is not the case. First, we have to believe that with abhyasa, anything can be done.
Yes.
We think, see, here so many things are mentioned, right? The pranayama is mentioned, for example. And how is it mentioned? Like it has to be done with so much of shraddha under a guru's guidance.
Guru. Yes. Yes.
So many people think, oh, when are we able to even do that? So they will simply not do it. I am one of them. Pranayama in that level, maybe I cannot do. I don't have a proper guru. I did not come across a guru who can guide me in that level. So I don't even try.
Okay.
But that is not the case. If you are really, whatever Shastras says, anything, when we apply it to something that we have already acquired, we can easily understand. See, say, for example, some technical thing, something that is on your phone. You are able to do it. Somebody else is not able to do it. Now you can understand that they can do it, but they are not trying enough, right?
Yes. Yes.
Why are you able to understand that? Because you are able to do it. But there is some things which even you cannot do. Then you will think nobody or people, some people cannot do it. They are not capable of doing it. Why? Because you yourself are not capable of doing it. We think, okay, there are certain things which people are not capable of doing.
Yes.
But what we have to understand is, of course, for everything, there will be a physical limit and a mental limit. But we have that intention of doing it, that determination of doing it. At least half of the things that we think we cannot do, we will be able to do with abhyasa.
Yes.
Again, with abhyasa and with shraddha. Just abhyasa is also not enough. If your mind is somewhere and you are simply sitting there and trying to do something, that cannot be accomplished. That shraddha should also be there. That focus should also be there. You see many people giving in to their indriyas. They have some weakness for sweets or for rice or for something, right?
Yes.
They want to get rid of it. They want to have more control and not eat that padartha. But see them struggling. It is because the manas is still pulling and they are not able to control the manas. Once the manas is controlled, this indriya is nothing, because our tongue is not the one that is controlling us. Our manas is the one that is controlling us. So once we come to that manas, and whatever, some people have this physical need also, the bodily needs. So it's not simply restraining ourselves from that. We have to see why our body is trying to eat that. Why is it craving for that?
Yes.
Craving for that. We have to get to the root cause. Many times why the body craves for something is there is some nutrition deficiency in the body. There is some kind of nutrition deficiency in the body. That is the reason why it craves. Why we have cravings is that. So once
Yes.
we start eating whole foods rather than processed foods,
Yes.
then automatically the nutrition requirements of our body will be satisfied. And once the nutrition requirements are satisfied completely, our body will no longer crave.
Yes.
That is one thing I learned through experience. That is one thing I learned through experience. Everything is refined. Everything is refined. All the products that we use are refined. White rice, white flour, white sugar, everything. You replace all of those with wholesome foods like brown rice. And instead of using the polished urad dal, if we use the whole urad like minulu directly.
And also millets. Millets are a very great source.
Millets are also very
satisfying.
great source.
Yes.
So anything that is whole, which is not refined, which is not where the skin is not peeled off, the sugar also, it is completely bleached, the white sugar. Instead of that, if we go back to the cane sugar, the brown sugar, which is not processed. So that we won't need too much of it also. And even before going to the sugar, just eating the whole foods like the rice and the other cereals and the pulses, the craving for sugar will come down, that you don't even need as much sugar as you needed before. So automatically the cravings will come down and it will become easy to control. So there is a root cause. It is not simply that the body is craving. There is a reason. We have to understand that. We have to understand that the body is craving for all these because something we are not providing what it needs. Now, some people go out of their way. They don't sleep enough. So they are working so much that they are not getting enough sleep. So they depend on the caffeine to keep them going. But if they give what the body needs, like enough rest, then the body will not ask as much caffeine. Don't get the craving to drink a coffee or tea as much. Little bit, 1 cup is fine, but we see people drinking tea 4 or 5 times a day or coffee for 5 or 6 times a day just to keep going. They tell you, oh, if I don't drink, I cannot focus on my work. So why? Because our body is not made for coffee, to work on coffee. Why are they becoming like that? Is because they are not giving enough time for the body to rest and come back to its normal state. So all this we have to understand at that level, then the Indriya Nigraha will become easy. So to such people, if we tell you have to control your Indriyas, they will not even think of trying. Why? Because in the position that they are right now, they are so weak. It is so weak. They think it is impossible. It is only possible for rishis in the, who are from the back in the days, to stay without coffee, to eat less, that niyatahara. That is all possible. They think it is beyond them to even practice that. But it is really not. With a little bit of lifestyle changes, we can do it very easily. But their mind is not, the mind is resisting initially. So because of that resistance from the mind, they are not willing to try. And because they are not trying, the body is still not in receiving what it is supposed to receive. So it is giving in to these instant things that energize it to keep going.
Pleasures,
Yeah. So similarly, we have to understand that if we understand, like what I was saying is practicing and how people think that they cannot practice. So that what I positively believe is, of course, there will still be limitations, definitely, because maybe we did not, we abused so much that right now our body can no longer go back, even with all practicing all this, maybe it can go, it can make up to some extent, but it cannot make up to that extent because there are again other factors, environmental factors which are out of our control, the pesticides with which all these are raised, which is again out of our control. We cannot modify everything, right? Because not everything is in our control. Because of that, maybe we cannot become as strong as rishis in the past, but still we can improve ourselves a little bit. That kind of awareness we need to have. Then only we will be able to do, or that kind of jnanam itself will help us attain moksha. That is what this shloka is saying. Astu, Mahoday. So then the next shloka. Any other questions in this shloka? Anyone else? Okay. Bhavana Bhagini, asti va bhavati? Nasti. Chitra Bhagini, patitum ichchati va? Astu. Alivelu Bhagini, patitu.
श्रेयान् द्रव्यमयाद्यज्ञा ज्ञानयज्ञः परन्तप सर्वं कर्माखिलं पार्थ ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते। श्रेयान् द्रव्यम् अयत्
Shreyan
द्रव्यमयान्
द्रव्यमयात्
यज्ञात्
ज्ञानयज्ञः परन्तप सर्वं कर्माखिलं
कर्म अखिलं
पार्थ ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते। श्रेयान् श्रेयस् सकारान्तं श्रेयः श्रेयस् पुंलिंग द्वितीया बहुवचनं द्रव्यमयात्
प्रथमा एकवचनं
एव भगिनि
प्रथमा एकवचनं श्रेयान् श्रेयस् प्रथमा एकवचनं ओके श्रेयस् द्रव्यमयात् द्रव्यमयः नपुंसकलिंगम् अकारान्त नपुंसकलिंग पंचमी एकवचनं द्रव्यमयात्
पुंलिंगमेव
पुंलिंगं
ఎందుకంటే హియర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ విశేషణ టు యజ్ఞాత్ ద్రవ్యమయాత్ యజ్ఞాత్
యజ్ఞాత్ పుంలింగం పంచమే ఏకవచనం జ్ఞానయజ్ఞః అకారాంత పుంలింగ ప్రథమ ఏకవచనం పరంతప అకారాంత పుంలింగ సంబోధన ఏకవచనం సర్వం सर्व शब्दस्य द्वितीया एकवचनं कर्म
actually here since karma shabda is napumsaka sarvam also you can take it as napumsaka prathama ekavachanam
कर्मन् नकारान्त नपुंसकलिंग प्रथमा एकवचनं अखिलं अकारान्त नपुंसकलिंग प्रथमा एकवचनं पार्थ अकारान्त पुंलिंग संबोधना एकवचनं ज्ञाने ज्ञानः अकारान्त पुंलिंग सप्तमी एकवचनं परिसमाप्यते परि उपसर्ग
ज्ञानं नपुंसकलिंगं ज्ञानं take it as napumsakam
सप्तमी विभक्ति एकवचनं
परि उपसर्ग सम उपसर्ग आप धातुः कर्मणि लट्लकारं प्रथमपुरुष एकवचनं परिसमाप्यते पदार्थः परन्तप शत्रुतापक द्रव्यमयात् द्रव्यसाध्यात् यज्ञात् यागात् ज्ञानयज्ञः आत्मज्ञानरूपो यज्ञः श्रेयान् वरीयान् पार्थ अर्जुन सर्वं समस्तं कर्म यज्ञरूपं कर्म ज्ञाने आत्मज्ञाने अखिलं फलसहितं परिसमाप्यते पर्यवस्यति अन्वयः परन्तप द्रव्यमयात् यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः श्रेयान् पार्थ सर्वं कर्मज्ञाने अखिलं परिसमाप्यते आकांक्षा श्रेयान् कः श्रेयान् ज्ञानयज्ञः श्रेयान् कस्मात् ज्ञानयज्ञः श्रेयान् यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः श्रेयान् ईदृशात् यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः श्रेयान् द्रव्यमयात् यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः श्रेयान् परिसमाप्यते कथं परिसमाप्यते अखिलं परिसमाप्यते कुत्र अखिलं परिसमाप्यते ज्ञाने अखिलं परिसमाप्यते किं ज्ञाने अखिलं परिसमाप्यते कर्मज्ञाने अखिलं परिसमाप्यते कियत् कर्मज्ञाने अखिलं परिसमाप्यते सर्वं कर्मज्ञाने अखिलं परिसमाप्यते अस्मिन् श्लोके संबोधनपदे के परन्तप तात्पर्यं हे अर्जुन सांसारिक वस्तुभिः सिद्धात् यज्ञात् आत्मज्ञानरूपो यज्ञः श्रेष्ठः भवति यतः सर्वाणि कर्माणि ज्ञाने एव परिसमाप्तिं गच्छन्ति फलत्वात्। माध्वमतं तत्त्वज्ञानेन तव मोहः नश्यति, बन्धुमोहः पुनः न भवति, अपि च अनेन तत्त्वज्ञानेन सर्वत्र व्याप्ते मयि अशेषभूतानि द्रक्ष्यसि। व्याकरणं सन्धिः द्रव्यमयात् यज्ञात्, द्रव्यमयात् यज्ञात् जस्वसन्धिः, यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः, यज्ञात् ज्ञानयज्ञः, चुत्वसन्धिः, कर्माखिलं, कर्म अखिलं, सवर्णदीर्घसन्धिः, तद्धितान्तः द्रव्यमयात्, द्रव्यमयट्, स्वरूपार्थे तस्मात् द्रव्यरूपः इत्यर्थः। श्रेयान् रसस्य इयसुम् अतिशयार्थे स्रा इति आदेशः। धन्यवादः भगिनि।
अस्तु भगिनि। सो अत्र क्रियापदानि कानि?
परिसमाप्यते।
In the first part of the sentence, we can take
अस्ति.
Dravyamayaat yajnat jnana yajnah shreyan asti. So, compared to the Dravyamaya yajnas or Dravya yajnas, Jnana yajna is the best. Shreyan asti. That way we can take asti as Adhyahritam. So, Jnana yajnah shreyan asti. So, Jnana yajnah will be Kartrupadam. So, Shreyan also can be taken as it is a comparative, right? We are using it for comparison. So, we can, so when we say Ramaha Lakshmanat Purvaha Asti. Okay, so this is more like, how do you say? Shreyan Asti. Yajnat, the label, I'm trying to think of the label that we use for marking this kind of relation. Vibhaktam, we can say. There is a kind of relation name by the, it is called Vibhaktam, means you are separating, right? Out of all the Dravya Yajnas or compared to the Dravya Yajnas, Jnana Yajna is better. So we are picking Jnana Yajna out of all the Yajnas, comparing it with the Dravya Yajna and labeling it as the best. So Vibhaktam means we are separating it from the ordinary and pointing it out as the best. So like that we can mark the Shreyan. So this one Dravyamayat Yajnat. Here Yajnat is not used in the sense of Apadana. Apadana is when some kind of separation is made. So here that kind of separation is not there. It is used in the sense of comparison. So we label Yajnat as Vibhaktam. Dravyamayat is Visheshana to Yajnat. Jnana Yajnaha is the Kartru Padam. Jnana Yajnaha Shreyan Asti. Shreyan we can mark it as Videya Visheshana. Parantapa is a Sambodhya. So out of all the, or compared to all the Dravya Yajnas, Jnana Yajna is the best. That is the meaning of the first part of the sentence. The second one, Sarvam Karma Jnane Akhilam Parisamapyate. Sarvam Karma, all the karmas that we do, Jnane, in this Jnanam that we attain, Akhilam Parisamapyate. Akhilam also is a Visheshana to karma, means all the karmas. Sarvam Akhilam Karma. So Sarvam and Akhilam both are Visheshanas to karma. All kinds of karmas that we perform, all the karmas that we perform get, how do you say, Paryavasyati, Parisamapyate, means they join in this Jnana. They contribute towards the Jnana Yajna. Why? Only when you do these karmas without any phalapeksha. Not with Palapeksha. When you do with Palapeksha, they don't join in the Jnanam. So that is how the karma. So again, there is a question here. One side you are saying Jnana Yajna. Jnana Yajna is the best. And then you are giving the list of all the Dravya Yajnas that one can perform, all the Yajnas related to the karmas of the Sharira, like Indriya Yajna, or the pranayama yajna, all these are performed with body. So these are all karmas. And one side you are saying Jnana Yajna is the best. And on other side you are listing all the yajnas. These are all the yajnas through which you can attain moksha. So what is this? Again, there is confusion. So then Krishna says, in the previous shloka, we already understood or discussed that all these yajnas which are done, whether with the dravyas or indriyas or pranayamas or this niyatahara, all these, if they are done without any phalapeksha, with only Paramatma in our mind. So every action that we do only with Paramatma in our mind, then even those karmas will result in the jnanam only. That jnanam we should have. Everything that you are performing with that jnanam in our mind, we have to do. I am doing this to attain moksha. I am doing this to make my body stronger so that I can use this body as a tool to attain moksha. So in that way, our thinking, if we change our thinking while doing every action, then all those will be considered as yajnas, because we are doing with chitta suddhi and shraddha and with Paramatma in our mind. Everything we are offering to Paramatma, then all these will be considered as jnana yajnas, and all these karmas will dissolve in that jnana. So you will not accrue any karma. Only when karma is accrued, we will have rebirth, because we have to come back to experience either good or bad. How does the good, like I said in the previous example, a person is performing donations. He's doing the satkaryam only, but with the expectation, some kind of expectation of gratitude from the people to whom he has donated. Today I have made this kind of donation. Tomorrow I am expecting something back from them. So will that give, is that jnanam? Is that true jnanam? It is not jnanam. So the karma that we do will accrue some positive punyam. It will give us some punyam because it is a good deed. We are not hurting anybody in any way. It is, we are benefiting somebody. But we also have some kind of expectation. So it cannot be considered as jnanam, but it is still a good deed. So we are accruing some punyam. We have to be reborn to also experience that punyam. We will have a better life, but we will have rebirth. But if we don't want rebirth, if we want Paramapadam, if we want to attain moksha, then we should not expect anything even from our good deeds. And when we are supposed to do a bad deed, like killing somebody, like Arjuna, he has to kill his enemies, but his enemies are his family and friends. So he is hesitating. Why is he hesitating? Because he is thinking he is the one who is killing. But so there the jnanam is lacking. So Krishna says you have to think that you are not killing for out of your dvesham. You are killing for your kingdom. You are killing to protect the dharma. In this you are only a nimitta matra. You are not doing this out of your own free will, not for pleasure. You are doing it with as a duty as a kshatriya to protect your country. So the sin will not affect you. This killing will not affect you. So even we are also required to practice such kind of ahimsa. Of course, we will not be in a position where Arjuna is to kill or to fight a war where we are killing people. But in whatever we do, we should always stop and think if we are hurting others only for pleasure. Like we are given in those niyamas, even if we are telling the truth, and if that truth will put somebody in trouble, then it is not considered as truth. It is considered as asatyam only. Because of what we speak, even if it is the truth, if it is destroying somebody, then that should not be considered as satyam. It has to be considered as asatyam. So we should not tell things which will put somebody in a problematic situation. So, so such things we have to understand, and for better understanding, we have to read the Vedas, the Yoga Shastras, and all these for better understanding as when we have to speak the truth, when we should not speak the truth, and all these things to understand. And with that kind of shraddha, if we practice without any phalapeksha, without pleasure for us. Some people, if somebody has hurt them in some way, then they will try to hurt them with their either with their words or with actions, or trying to tell what they have done. There might be some things that the other people have done, right? which are not very noble deeds. So people, when they are angry at them, they will try to put them out in public. Oh, he has performed. Today he is speaking like this, but he has done this in the past, and such things. So those also are considered as bad deeds, though we are speaking the truth that actually happened. But what is the purpose of we revealing all that? To cause some kind of damage to that person. So then it is considered as asatyam. It is not satyam. So without any personal agenda, if we do only what we are required to do as per our duties, that is jnanam. That is having the jnanam. And then even the actions that we do will not touch us. The karmas will not touch us. And they will burn in that jnana yajna. And we will be free of any karma bandhams, and we will attain moksha. So that is the meaning of this shloka here. So Shreyan Dravyamayat Yajnat Jnana Yajnaha Parantapa Sarvam Karma Khilam Partha Jnane Parisamapyate. So here there is a small so this is shloka 33. Okay. Yeah. So basically we have to attain the jnanam. In everything that we do, we have to realize that we are only nimitta matras. We are performing our duties. There is nothing in it for us. We should not expect anything in return. Only then we will be free of all the karmas that we do, and we will attain moksha. So with that jnanam, even when one does the karmas in the life, they cannot be attached or bound, because earlier we have seen that whatever karma we do, it will cause an attachment. But how to get rid of that attachment? So how can I be in this karma marga and attain moksha? So many people think that jnana marga is the only way to attain moksha. And in the jnana marga, you do not do any karmas. But how can we avoid doing karmas? We are already in this position where we have certain responsibilities. Without doing karmas, we cannot move forward. We should simply should not leave our responsibilities and go. And tell, no, I want to go in the Jnana Marga. I don't want to perform my duties. So I am leaving and simply abandoning our duties and then going and performing the meditation in the Aranya. That will not lead us. That is not Jnanam. That is not true Jnanam. True Jnanam is to perform our duties, whatever duties are there in our, because we never know when this Jnanam happens. By the time the jnanam happens, we might be in the middle of so many responsibilities. It doesn't mean, oh, now I have my jnanam, I can leave all this and go. We have studied about that. We discussed the story of that lady, right? Who attains a siddhi, but her guru suggests, advises her, no, you are not ready to leave, though you have attained siddhi, Madalasa, her name. So you have to continue your life, and because there are some responsibilities that you have to do, and only then you can go. You have attained siddhi, but you have to continue. So she followed her guru's advice, and she continued in that path and performed all her duties, and only in the end she took the moksha. So similarly, that itself is the jnanam, understanding that and following that. If she had said, no, I have already attained siddhi, why should I still go? And if she simply left, then that is not jnanam, it is real. Whatever siddhi she has acquired is not real. Only because she has acquired real siddhi, she was able to understand the significance of her still continuing doing her duties. And only at the end, whenever she is free of her duties, she goes. And she does everything with that nirasaktaha. Nirasaktaha, not like in the Telugu meaning where you have no interest, but without any attachment, without any desire. That is called as nirasakta. In Telugu, we normally use that word as without any interest. No, you still have to do your duties with utmost shraddha, but without any phalapeksha. So that is the difference. Many times what happens, like we also discussed the story of those three ministers, whom the king has sent to the forest and pluck some fruits. The first one has did his job diligently. He doesn't know what is going to happen to those fruits. He very diligently followed the king's orders. The second one was a little haughty. He took some good fruits and took some bad fruits and everything. The third one decided the king doesn't even care. He only assigned this job, but he is not even going to check this. So he gathered some dried leaves. So that is nirasakta. That is nirasakta. He has no shraddha on what is upon his duty. What is his duty as a minister? To follow the king's orders. That's all. With utmost shraddha. He did not do. So what happened at the end? He had to suffer with hunger. Whereas the first person who did with shraddha, though he did not have any apeksha, he didn't know that those fruits will be given to him. The king asked to bring some fruits. He doesn't know that he is going to get the fruits, but still he put the shraddha and brought very good fruits, and finally he reaped his benefits. Similarly, we also, though we know that though we should not have any phalapeksha, does not mean we can do the work without any shraddha. We have to do it with utmost shraddha, but without any phalapeksha. And having that jnanam itself is jnana yajna. And in that jnana agni, all these karmas will burn. We will not gather any punyam or papam. And that is the only way to attain moksha. So that is the meaning here of this shloka. And here in the Vyakarana, we have the sandhis, and then in the tadhittanta we have dravyamayat, mayam. So mayat, that is the mayat pratyayam, which indicates that artha. So swaruparthe means whatever the pratipadikam is saying, the same meaning is emphasized. Swarupartha, dravyam. So dravyamayat means completely of dravyam. It is emphasizing more on the pratipadika. And shreyan, we know that this is iyasun pratyayam, like tarap and tamap. We are all more familiar with the tarap and tamap, but iyasun, ishtan are also another pratyayas that we use in the superlative sense. So here, this precious shabdasya iyasun pratyayam is shreyan. Okay. So here we shall stop. Any questions? Okay. No chet. Bhagini.
आं भगिनि सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः धन्यवाद भगिनी नमस्कारः सर्वेभ्यः धन्यवादः नमस्कारः
नमस्ते भगिनी धन्यवादः सर्वेभ्यः रात्रि